Tell me about the concept behind the title of the album, Who Killed Amanda Palmer? What's behind that?
Well, Who Killed Amanda Palmer just started out as a David Lynch joke. But then, like the best things in life and in art, like what started out as a cool title and a joke actually expanded into its own meaningful little empire, and it inspired this book, and it inspired this collaboration with Neil, and it's inspired a bunch of, the album artwork, and it's inspired the way we choreographed the tour, and one thing has just led to another. But it didn't start out, it's not a concept record. It didn't start out as anything more than just this reference that I thought would be great to make to Twin Peaks and David Lynch.
Yeah. And why have you gone solo away from the Dresden Dolls?
Well, the Dresden Dolls experienced classic band burnout, because we basically toured nonstop from 2002 to 2005 and took very, very, very little time off. And, after we put out our second record, we just sort of collapsed in a heap. And originally, the solo record was supposed to be a much shorter project. I was going to take a little bit of time off and just do some simple piano songs. But then when Ben Folds got involved and wanted to produce it, it turned into a bigger and bigger and bigger thing that ended up taking, years to make instead of months. And then I wanted to tour on the record, so it just turned from a shorter break into a longer break. But it's still just a break. We're waiting to find the right time to go back on tour together. And Brian is playing with this fantastic punk band from New York, and he's really happy. Yeah, he's happy as long as he's playing drums.
Yeah. And tell me about your take on fame. Did you, when you were younger and started getting into music, did you want to get propelled into stardom, or were you quite happy to sit somewhere else on the radar?
Well, I think when you're a kid, you don't even really understand what stardom totally means. I mean, you have that 10-year-old perspective on, and I wanted to, I wanted to be like my idols, and so that meant being a star. And when I would look at my Madonna records and my Cyndi Lauper records and my Prince records, it was like, that's what I want to do. That's it, whatever it is. And I feel like it's taken me my whole life to actually kind of trace it back to what it was that I actually wanted. Because stardom is just kind of, I think it's more like a side effect of this thing that you actually want, which is I desperately wanted to be connected with people. And I desperately wanted to, be in some mad creative situation where there were a lot of people involved, and there was an audience, and there was a lot of love. And that's, it really informed the way the Dresden Dolls built and did what we did. And I think I can pretty much say at this point that I got there. Our fan base is one of the most incredible fan bases I've ever seen. They're like a family. They take care of each other, they hang out together, the shows are always beautiful, there's never a bad show, the energy is always really great, and it's like the ultimate art party. It's kind of that was my fantasy as a teenager, was to just be able to be the person throwing that party. So it wasn't even so much about the music. I think the music was sort of a means to an end for me to get there. And also that deep urge I had for honest self-expression and kind of being able to challenge people and say can I say this, can I say this, can I say this, and see how far I could push that line. And those two things combined are, I think, what really drove me as a kid and have continued to drive me as an adult.
That's excellent. And does that feel like a global family as well, that fan base? Do you feel like you have that same kind of unity in every city that you go to, no matter where it is in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. The most incredible thing about the net is that we can have these giant fan bases in totally different parts of the world, but they're all actually friends with each other. And there are kids in Italy who are friends now with kids in LA who are friends with kids in New Zealand, because they've all met each other on the Shadowbox, which is the nexus. It's like the band fan forum. And but what's really cool is they don't just talk about the band, and they don't just talk about me. They connect, they share their art, they mail each other things, they help each other out, they throw their own parties, they meet and gather. I mean, it's really it's this sort of weird punk version of the Grateful Dead, where it really is a community, and it's they're they trust each other. They're they have faith in each other, and there's something so beautiful about that. And the other incredible things that's happened lately is with Twitter, which I've only just joined 3 months ago, but it's already changed the way the touring works and stuff, because I did this in Auckland the other day. I Twittered right before midnight that I was going to be somewhere at a square down the street at 3 o'clock, and like that's all I did. I didn't tell anyone else about it. I didn't tell my management, didn't tell my label, and I just showed up with my ukulele, and 100 people came, and I was like, this is awesome. Just the fact that it's so simple, and that I can so directly talk to my fan base without having to go through 9 channels.
That's fantastic.
It's amazing, and that is going to be the future of music.
Are Wellingtonians going to be treated to any random little shows, do you think?
I think it depends. It depends how the rest of the day goes, but I started out doing that because these shows were 18 plus, and I wanted to give the kids who were, really disappointed that they couldn't get into the show, I wanted them to at least be able to hang out and see each other and meet me, and that was a really perfect way to do it.